This game was played on August 16th, 2000. At that time, Billy Mitchell had the record since 1982. Now it's going to be scratchy a little bit. The picture will jump sometimes. The tape is 13 years old. The picture clarity was much better 13 years ago. As you can see, I'm not really point pressing. Score I get was what, 874 and some change. Plus, this was the best VCR I could find, too. It's about 10 years old. And the beginning of the tape always kind of stretches out and causes distortion, especially when you use it for multiple attempts. I mean, a lot of the reps do that. No break in continuity at all. I followed all the rules that were required for the game at the time. It's a pretty standard level of gameplay. Tracking does clear up later on, but you can still see the score. And actually, the picture is a lot clearer if you're sitting here watching it in person. This is one of the awesome qualities when you take a picture of a picture. Now, this game was taped August 16th, 2000. I think I started early in the morning. August 16th, 2000 was either a Wednesday or a Thursday. So those are my 2 days off. Now remember, this is the game that the crooked documentarian Seth Gordon said was constantly disputed and impossible to verify. This is the very game. Well, no, it wasn't. I had it all the time. Nobody bothered to ask me Of course not, because they had it all set up with their insider cronies where we're going to make some money with the film crew. Oh, the original score? Screw that Sczerby guy. We'll stick Wiebe in there. You know, because he's bringing in the big money and the notoriety. So, you know, fuck that Sczerby guy. You know, what does he have to offer us? And I'm telling you, that's just the way it worked. My video connection isn't all that great either. If I had a better VCR, it would make all the difference. I only had 2 VCRs. One wasn't even worth playing on because of the track it would hardly play. This one isn't bad. They just want to live in denial, so that way they can say, hey, I never saw it. And that way they don't have to ask any questions, like, you know, Steve, why did you take credit for somebody else's gaming accomplishment? Why did you make the money you did? Really? You know, why did Steve have it? Really? That's why nobody is going to watch this. Sitting on a couple of old car tires at the time for a stool. Periodically, I reach over to grab my, the hell was I drinking? Those little hug plastic barrels of fruit juice. And off to my left, I was using my joust game as a kind of table to rest them on when I was finished. I only have one person watching this. Yeah, but it proves they made the documentary on a fraud. Well, I didn't see it. I know nothing. I see nothing. You know, I get more viewers when I just kind of sit here poking around listening to the Alex Jones show. I mean, this is a historical milestone in the game's history, and I have one lousy, well, I'm not going to say lousy, but numerically wise, and I won't call them a lousy, I'll call them somebody that's actually interested in the facts, but still, one viewer. old. It sat in my closet for a number of years, probably up until, what was it, around 2000, late 2007, early 2008, when Dwayne Richards expressed interest in seeing it. And then it sat in my closet for another several years. I almost had 600,000 on one guy in this game. I beat their what would they say was the Donkey Kong expert at the time, Brian Carr. I beat his best on my first man in this game. His best at the time. And every once in a while I kind of get up and make sure that the VCR is recording too. Probably see my shoulder getting in the way because I had the VCR and the camera, and I had the VCR set up behind me where I kind of had to stretch around and take a look. I remember there was one game not too long before that. I had a decent one going. I was in the 300,000 range, and I stretch over to look, and the VCR isn't recording. Now, 13 years ago when I submitted this, it was a brand new tape. I dubbed it on. There was absolutely no distortion or anything. Still only one viewer. Yeah, see, I didn't really think too many people wanted to watch this. All the flack I caught from the beginning, oh, bullshit, you don't have that tape, oh, you can't prove it. See, I was never meant to be able to prove it. Never meant to. It was supposed to be my word against these fake documentarians, Seth Gordon and Ed Cunningham. It was supposed to be my word against theirs. Well, no. Here's the facts. I mean, here's the actual game. You know, it's too bad only one person has the interest in watching this. Well, Dwayne Richards has already seen it, and so have a couple of Donkey Kong people recently, who I'm not going to mention their names, and they didn't have a problem with it. If I was able to find the remote for this VCR, I would kind of pause it and give more of a commentary based on some of the action. So far I have play, rewind, fast forward, stop, eject, and track. That's it. I'm lucky it has a tracking feature. What is this, like a 2000 Emerson? Now keep in mind, this is what they said was constantly disputed and impossible to verify, even though it was verified and on their scoreboard at the time. I think if I had a better VCR, I wouldn't get that flicker as much. I played this for Dwayne Richards about 5 years ago. I had a lot better VCR at the time. Now this board always tensed me up, so I'd stand straight at attention to make sure I see where the springs are going. The score is pretty easy to read. What do I have? 173, 300. I'm on level 6. This was all standard gameplay at the time. And as the score got higher, people had to develop a little bit more creative ways of earning points, which often put you more in harm's way. Risk versus reward. This video was made, the world record was set by Billy Mitchell almost to the day, I believe. August 17th, 1982, he set that. This is played on August 16th of 2000. or of 2000. So it's almost like, what, 82, 92, 18 years to the day. Yeah, I can see not too many viewers want to pop in and see. Still got one watching. You know, they just rather all crowd around Steve Wiebe, that big fake that stole my gaming accomplishment and exploited it for his own gain and made himself some money. And, you know, Billy Mitchell too. You know, what was it Walter said in that stinking movie? Nobody has ever come close to beating Billy Mitchell's record. Well, yeah, here. But yeah, why am I seeing this? I think I go another 400,000 points before I lose my first meal. I get almost 600,000 points on just on my first meal. I don't think I got much sleep the night before either. I mean, you watch this game, you watch the documentary from Dwayne Richards, and then watch King of Kong again, and you can see what a freaking scam it is. It's all about promoting these two guys, promoting Walter, and making a few bucks for themselves at the expense of those of us that really were involved. Of course, nobody's going to ask anybody this at the cough. No. I know how much Billy made. I know how much Steve Wiebe made. I know how much Walter made, and I know how much Steve Saunders made. My God, that would have been life-altering for me for the better. Yeah, I always tension up on that. I still do to this day. Because if you miss one little movement, you lose a life. Was I sitting on the tires? I might have had to have gone to the bathroom right about here. I'm not ashamed to admit it. You don't really build up enough men on this to sacrifice them to take a bathroom break. So there are times I will urinate in the container next to the game. I know other gamers have done that. You don't have to say to me that's weird. Unfortunately, you really can't do that in an arcade setting. person looking at this channel right now. One. I'll come in here, screw around, listen to the Alex Jones show or my radio, and I'll have like 5 or 6 people watching. I tell everybody here, you can watch the actual history-making game. Nobody should. One person stops by to watch it. Well, you know, they all want to live in denial and worship that fraud Steve Wiebe and that other scammer Billy Mitchell and that other scammer Walter Day. Sitting on those car tires wasn't that comfortable. You have all the team of investigators. Well, I announced to them where they can find the information, when it will be displayed, but are any of them there to investigate it? No, of course not. Of course not. Because then they have to admit the whole King of Kong was a fake, it was a lie, TG lied, and the film producers lied. So far I have one person that's actually interested. By the way, who is watching? If they can type in. You know, who is the only person out there that actually is interested in seeing the original history-making game that the King of Kong was based off of? Stella Blue. So unlike living in denial like the rest of the Kong heads and TG heads, Stella Blue actually wants to see it. Well, some of the other Donkey Kong players have seen it. I won't mention their names because then they'll just be ostracized and run out of the hole. But they didn't have a problem with this either. Dwayne Richards has seen it, and he was a ref at TG at the time. Well, shortly after, you know, when he wasn't going to go along with Walter's scam and fraud, yeah, he got fired, and then that's when he kind of really divulged into what really happened behind the scenes. Robert Merzak got disgusted with the whole thing and just quit. I'd probably have done the same thing. So much for scores being sacred at TG. once in a while you get a flicker in the video, and it's not that bad. Should have saw what it looked like on the VCR I played it on last week. This VCR is a 10-year-old Emerson, but I cleaned the heads on it and adjusted the tracking, so it's pretty good. Oh, now I have two viewers. They'll have little flickers in the video quality. The tape is 13 years old. The recording I sent to Twin Galaxies the following day was perfect. There was no distortion or anything. Again, this tape is 13 years old. Well, older than that. So, let's see, Stella Blue has seen this. There's another viewer popped in, I don't know who's seen it. A couple people from the docu-drama community have seen it. Like I said, I won't mention their names. They're neutral. They had no issue with it. Dwayne Richards has seen it. And I think a few people outside of Dwayne Richards, I'm not sure who would, have also seen it. There was no question about the gameplay. There was no break in continuity. I followed the settings at the time. At the time, you didn't have this space shuttle-like flight checklist that you had to go through to film the inside of the game, and then the control panel, and then when your game was done, you had to go back around and film the inside of the game. And lost the viewer. Our world of denial is being shattered. I better not tune in and look anymore. Yeah, you see, they don't want to see the reality. They want to go there and they want to rub elbows with Wiebe and Mitchell, two of the biggest scam artists in gaming history, and their enabler, Walter Day, who wears that costume of a referee uniform. I wouldn't even call it a uniform. It's a costume. Now, you'll notice that the wild barrels really aren't too bad in this game. It's because I'm not really point pressing. So I don't think I got but maybe one or two in the first 5 levels, only because I wasn't point pressing. You'll notice I don't even get the second hammer, or the first hammer, the second hammer, yes, but not the first. Yeah, I think around 560 or 580 I lose my first man. Yeah, the King of Kong, Brian Coe, well, I'm the third best. I beat his best score at the time on my first man. Probably taking another week. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Some gamers I've talked to will say, yeah, a game like this, you feel like we have to go to the bathroom, yeah, we have a bucket or a container with beans, so we don't have to go to the I've done that. Score can easily be read, and this is just a broadcast of taking a picture of a picture. The screen that I'm recording it from right now is very clear, very clear. 62, 600. I think nowadays I usually get 500,000 stuff. Maybe high. Yeah. Pretty much told the community I'd be broadcasting it today, but only 2 people are actually interested in the facts. You don't see these journalists now. Oh, we gotta find these facts. We gotta find out. Oh, is this true? Oh, well, no, he just claims he had this score, you see. Now, am I going to get a correction in the Wikipedia article? No. Am I going to get an apology from Seth Gordon about being lied and cheated out of my rightful place in the film? No. Am I going to be compensated for it like the others got? No. But that'll just show you what little character these scammers really have. I can just hear Seth Gordon now. We'll lie to him. We'll say we tried to find the Sczerby guy. We'll also lie and say his score was, impossible to verify. And everybody just had a problem with it. And then if they find out we're lying, big deal. Screw it. We made our money. Walter, Billy, Steve, both Steves, they've all signed contracts, so they got to keep their fucking mouths shut. That's right. I don't think TG's going to do a write-up of this because it just... I don't expect them to anyway, because then they basically have to say, yeah, our organization, yeah, our high scores, yeah, they're for sale to the highest bidder. I think the first man I did lose was on the elevator one. And I had like 560, 580 at the time. No, I'm not really point pressing. Ordinarily, I probably have like 500,000 or more about this point. What was it, last week I had to force myself to watch that documentary, The King of Kong, and the more I watched it, the more upset I got. Because I know the thing was a screw job. King of Kong is no documentary. It was a little project, Seth Gordon and his movie buddies there. Actually, what was it? Dwayne was telling me that, they cooked that up a few years before over some beers at a bar, and that was actually published in a paper in Seattle. Now you can't find that article anymore. I'll bet not. I could do another highlight. Like if I had a pause feature on this, I'd pause and maybe give a longer commentary, but this is the best VCR I could find. It was one of only 2 I could find in the last couple of weeks, literally. And I went to all the thrift stores and asked neighbors. I may as well have been looking for a Pioneer 7820 laser disc player or something. I found more 8-track players. I found 4 or 5 8-track players when I was looking for a VCR. There's some common commentary by me and Brian Truax at the end, because he's kind of watching me do this, and he's the guy you hear off camera telling me what the time and date are. You know, I haven't seen him in several years, but I'm sure if I show this to him, he will remember it. He lives in Baltimore, Maryland now. See my Kongorilla machine, or Crazy Kong, that was in it toward the end when I kind of do a pan around with the camera. Now, thanks to the bureaucratic stylings of the Central New York DSO, I have no more games left, hardly any money. I mean, I just hate everything about state government and all these bureaucratic and brown-nosing, butt-licking assholes. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll set people up, and they will ruin your life because it's fun for them. Sylvia, I'll get you your kitty food. Anybody ever sit on a car tire or rim for any length of time? It's not very comfortable. video was made and people were going for the title, Donkey Kong wasn't this big thing that it is now amongst classic arcade gaming. I think it was emulated in Maine maybe the year before, maybe like, I don't know, 98, 99. Maine was still relatively new too. But the only real way to play Donkey Kong at the time, the arcade one, was to actually play the arcade one. Which you can clearly see I'm parked in front of. This is the direct video feed without any audio. You see, that's acceptable, you see. There's also no break in continuity either. A couple of times there was a brief flicker on my audio that caused like a split-second blackout, but that was because my audio connection was bad. Only 2 people actually wanting to see real gaming history. But you go to the Kong off and they'll hoist Steve Wiebe up on his shoulders. Boy, what a great scammer you are. And Billy Mitchell and Walter Day, the enabler. And it's not like I sat on this tape for years. I did submit a copy to this to Twin Galaxies, and the referees didn't have a problem with it. But then again, it was just a game at that point. There was no franchise evolved around it at the time. And at most, he had kind of like bragging rights of being the best in the world at something. And that's really what all this stuff was about. Level 14, yeah, I'd have like well over 100,000 points higher than I do now, if I were to play today. What have I got? 526, 100, yeah, I'd have well over 600,000. That's 620, 650. See, this didn't merit inclusion in the documentary. Well, of course it didn't. It was never supposed to. It was a Billy versus Steve thing. Even though Billy didn't have the record at the time Steve Wiebe set out to beat his 1982 score, because that was already beat a few years by me. And they call that a documentary. Well, no, I call it a purposeful fraud. Oh, yep, there it is. I had 534. Yeah, I thought it was like 584. No, it's 534. I could have Seth Gordon sitting here with lid locks on his eyes, strapped to a chair, a la Alex in Clockwork Orange, and he'd still be sitting here. Oh, this game is unverified. I can't see the game. Nah, I'm not listening. What was it, Twin Galaxies in conjunction with the hucksters at Picture House Entertainment? Yeah, they put together and made a nice little fraudulent documentary to promote themselves, and the people that were really involved, they deliberately lied and wrote them out of it. And that's not just speculation or my opinion. That is fact. High 600,000 game by now, using the point pressing. Those fireballs were pricks. They robbed me for 3,000 points. Now remember, according to Picture House Entertainment, this game doesn't exist and never happened. Because I called that movie studio and I asked about the King of Kong and why their director made a fraudulent documentary. And when I told them who I was and that I had proof that they did, they got very defensive. They gave me the number of some scammer lawyer in the legal department. It does no good to talk to those crooks anyway. I'm going to go make a sandwich. I mean, you probably got about maybe another 45 minutes to go. Where am I at now? 5:69? Yeah, probably a little over a half hour longer. Yeah, I'm amazed. Not many people are tuning in to watch this. You know, I didn't think there would be. How does the video quality look? I mean, it kind of looks okay to me. I can make out the score and everything. Right, here I am tensing up because I don't want to get hit by those springs. I probably could have made it that way, actually. Plus, I'm starting to get into the home stretch. I mean, I'm literally, a couple 100,000 points away right now. And I'm on my second man. You know, the game is a lot easier when you're not involved in all the point pressing and point scabbing and just trying to go out of your way to get these extra points. High 800s, low 900s are still good scores in this game. Yeah, the first couple of levels, that's mainly just the tape degradation. The tape I used for playing was probably used numerous times. So every time I'd rewind it and start recording again, the tape toward the beginning would stretch. Dwayne Richards said that was common. Greg Spuniak, yeah, it's common to have it stretched out in the beginning and have a little bit of fuzz. Because people will use this, you just don't walk up to it and set the world record. You end the game that doesn't do it, rewind the tape, the VCR goes zzz, dunk, and after a few dozen times it starts to stretch in the beginning. Constantly disputed, and no, we couldn't use them, no, and we tried to track this Sczerby guy down, you know, our TG assisted attempts to track him down. Yeah, let me tell you something, both Walter and Billy had absolutely no problem getting a hold of me after the filming was done. It was all a done deal. They got their money, their checks were cashed. Then I get contacted. And that was the first I ever knew there was any film interest in the subject material. And I'm thinking, well, you know, how could they negate my score? I mean, it was verified. I mean, I even told them I had an original copy of the tape if they wanted to see it. They weren't too interested in that. And yeah, I'm tensing up right now because I'm in the home stretch. I got 2 guys left. I only know I got a few more levels to go. Like I said, those car tires. Now, did you hear that? That's the witness off camera that watched me do this.
All you need to do is get about 120,000 more. I got it. The only thing that is the game ends on level 22.
I just said the game ends on level 22. I'm making this look a lot easier. This is my first game of the morning, too. That's it, man. You know, the thing is, yeah. That was my first game of the morning. Alright, so I got up around 5:30 or so to do this. I think I started around 6. I forget what Brian was doing there. He was watching this. Yeah, I got 2 viewers. Let's see. EKF symbols and stuff. See, 2 people that are actually interested in watching real Donkey Kong history and not that made-up baloney they passed off as a documentary called The King of Kong. But it wasn't meant to be a documentary. It was meant to. It was meant for Walter and Billy and Steve and Seth Gordon, that crooked movie producer, to launch his film career, and the other people I mentioned make a few bucks. plus promote twin galaxies. Never mind. See, I was written out. I didn't fit into their plans. I mean, the fact they had Steve Saunders in there, and what was it? Dwayne showed me the contract there. 10 grand that guy made. Steve Saunders made 10 grand. The guy couldn't even, I could have beaten the guy back in 1983. And I'm not kidding. What was I, 11 years old?
On my first guy before I realized what it was
Taping I mentioned where I had 300,000 on my first guy, and then noticed the VCR. See, I'm reaching down to check to make sure the VCR is recording. Because it was an earlier session, maybe a month or so before, I had 300,000 on my first guy, and the VCR wasn't recording. Here I am, I have a little over 100,000 to go to that. Standing at attention. I always tense up. Even today I tense up here. I forget where I lost my second man. My last man I had killed purposely in level 21 rivets so I could do the board over again and have the score to beat Billy. I mean, this game came right down to the wire as far as being a world record game at the time. Sometimes they just don't cooperate. Maybe Seth Gordon would like to watch this tape. Oh, that's right. He already made all his money. He doesn't give a fuck now. Yeah, we fucked you over good, me and our insider buddies. Yeah. Anybody going to the Kong-off, why don't you ask the two celebrities there why this score was negated? I was never meant to prove anything, because at the time, Twin Galaxies didn't state, save yourself a copy. I had. And as far as the verification process goes, it was very, very simple back then. You didn't need a flight list of a checking done to the machine. Not that it makes any difference, because you can't tell what's on the EEPROMs anyway. What was it? EKF symbol says. Well, actually, this score was not constantly disputed. Never. Oh, alright, there goes my second guy. Clipped by the pie. Now I know where the last one in reserve goes. Yeah, there was never any dispute. Well, except when Steve Wiebe and his movie pals came in and said, yeah, we got a DK player here too, and we'd like to have him be the first to beat Billy's record. Probably shoved a wad of bills in front of Walter, and hey, that placement in the game's history is now yours, because we are the official scorekeepers. Still recording. Alright, so I'm about 70,000 points away. Halfway through. Starting to tense up. I should be able to do it. Yes, well, 53,000. Back and forth. You don't know which way they're going to go. Level to get 50,000 points. This is the last level. Yep. I'm entering the last playable level. After this level, game's over. See, where are all the experts now? Well, there's a couple out there now, but I was expecting people like Walter Day and all the bigwigs to turn in and watch. All the big experts.
40,000 points.
But nah, they don't want to see that. As far as any type of cheating goes in the game, I'm using US Set 1 ROMs. You can clearly see at the splash screen at the end of the game where it says Donkey Kong Nintendo of America. And plus at the time there was really no incentive to try to hop up your game to get a higher score. Donkey Kong Mania didn't hit until 2007 when they made that fake documentary. So what have I got? 53, 100. Thinking about another 22,000 points to do it. After this, I've only got a couple of more levels. Level 21 really doesn't count when you're going to get like 700 points on that level. Big deal. Level 22, rather. Realizing about 15,000 points too shy. Tensing up again. This is the board where I sacked my man on purpose to do it over again to get the points I needed to beat the 874 set by Billy in 1982. The next level was worth about 700 points, so that was worthless. And here I am, like 5,000 points away. Bonus timers ticking down.
I got another guy left.
If I clear it, I can't get the world record. Now, I wasn't using the joystick trick at the time, but if you do stand close enough to Kong, you can do it. There.
I'll do it though.
Now I'll do it. I mean, this really came down to the wire for beating that world record at the time. A lot more interesting than Steve Wiebe's attempt. No, it's 874.
Game's over, 878. I did it.
Yeah, I get like another 700 points kill streak here.
Now he knows on the barrel.
So he's running out of barrels. I can be on. I'm going to go on a barrel and set that's it.
New champion, new Donkey Kong champion. Congratulations, master.
Yeah, so I thought.
79.
Little did I know that high scores and historical achievements are for sale at Twin Galaxies.
Fucking video game history.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you?
Hey, take the camera and kind of like pan around to the
Alright.
shot.
So I'm not breaking continuity, so I pan the camera around.
Tough goddamn score to beat. I've been trying for a long time to beat that score. I did it once. Actually, my high is 890-something thousand, but in this case, 879,200 will do. See,
That's my Crazy Kong, my Joust I was using for a drink holder.
Let me get a close-up shot of the score. A guy named Walter Day is going to be watching this thing.
Yeah, I thought he was.
See, 879,200.
See, 1981 Nintendo of America.
879,200. Tim, that's me. And I just played it, and that damn thing better recorded, too. Here I am.
Show off a little bit.
What time? I don't know. I started this game at 6 o'clock. Hey, what's today's date?
Listen.
It's Thursday. Alright, today's Thursday. Thursday the 16th. August 16th, 2000. New Donkey Kong record.
Yeah, not according to Seth Gordon in Picture House Entertainment, it wasn't. But you know, what's videotape proof? Alright, that's the end of that.